My best reads of 2025. Let's go. It's gonna be a long one. Stick around. I read a lot of fantasy romantasy in 2025. Usually I have a good balance between romance and fantasy, but this year it was very romantasy heavy. I think just because so many books were coming out, and I have read loads that I really loved and rated, but these are my top ones that I just loved a little bit more, and I thought I'd go through them with you. So grab a drink and let's go through some of my favourite books of 2025. I thought it'd be easy to split this up between YA and then adult, like spicy fantasy, so I'll put all the timestamps down below of the different books and the different genres. So let's start off with the very first book I read in 2025, A Language of Dragons. Oh, this was so good, and it's very underrated. It is a YA, but honestly, the characters read so much older. About 18 in the book anyway, but they feel like they're like 20, 22. But this book is criminally underrated, and I personally think it's because it doesn't have spice in it. That's just my opinion. You should not read a book just because it doesn't have spice. It's slightly historical as well. It's set in a post-World War London where England is fighting against the dragons. Everyone is split into different public classes. You can only mingle within your public class, and there is a rebellion group trying to uprise against the government to save the dragons. So when Vivian's parents are arrested for being rebels, she doesn't think that this can happen. She doesn't believe that they're rebels. She doesn't believe what anyone's telling her that her parents have done. So in anger, she sets a criminal dragon to 10 Downing Street, which of course then pisses off the Prime Minister. So the Prime Minister gives an ultimatum. She's either to go to prison to join her parents or go to Bletchley Park and help them decode dragon language. A bit like Morse code in the war. They need to find out what the dragons are planning. Now, when I first read this, it wasn't announced that there was going to be a sequel, and the way it ended left a little bit of a cliffhanger. If it did finish in a standalone, you kind of got a little bit of closure, but there is now a sequel. A War of Ravens is coming out in January 2026, and I have very luckily been given an arc of it, which is super exciting because I was given an arc of book one, so now I have an arc of both. And you best believe this is going to be my first book of 2026 as well. And if you like a dark academia book, I think you'll like this one too. Plus, I'd also recommend, if you can get your hands on the hardback, definitely do it sooner rather than later. Only because book 2 is going to come out in hardback first, but because it's got artwork and papers and hardcover foiling. And eventually the hardback won't exist anymore. Then we're moving on to The Rose Bargain, another YA. This is giving Bridgerton, it is giving The Selection, it is giving The Bachelor. And it's only a duology as well. Book 2 of this comes out in early 2026. So excited for book 2. But if you like conniving fae, morally grey men, handsome men, and a plot twist, then I think you're going to like this one. Again, this is another one that's a little bit historical. It's set in an old England, but the same with Language of Dragons, The Rose Bargain, although set in an old setting, it doesn't read too historical. I personally don't read historical fiction, so this is enough for me without sort of like me losing it in the plot. But the reason why I say this is like The Selection and The Bachelor is because it is focused around the season, where high society girls line up to exchange magical bargains with the Fae Queen. But in order to bargain with her, you have to give something up and gain something back from her. So one of the ones I remember from this, one of the girls wanted to be more beautiful, something like that, so she exchanged her fingers and toenails, and made me like, ugh. Don't hear about it on the page, but like the girls are talking about what they've exchanged for what they wanted, and yeah, that was one of the things. I was like, ugh. But the book is centered around Lady Ivy Benton. Her sister's a little bit of a recluse and brought shame to her family during her season because her bargain was never fulfilled, and she's now just wasting away. And no one knows what her bargain was. So Ivy's bargain is to find out what her sister's bargain was. But during this season, Lady Ivy Benton is shocked to find out that the Queen is running a competition for her son's hand in marriage, and her Fae son, Prince Bram, is looking for a wife. And Ivy knows that marrying Prince Bram could save her family from ruin, so she aims to beat off all the other competition. But the Fae have secrets that they can't always hide, and they like to manipulate, and they like to lie. So who can Ivy really trust while she's trying to win these games, while she's trying to win over the man's heart? And who better than to get advice from than his brother? Prince Emmett is the human prince, guiding Ivy to get his brother to fall in love with her. But there is a darker plot at stake, threatening the whole of England. I found this super fast paced, and I'm looking forward to book 2, so another one that I think you should add to your TBR. Then we come to The Crimson Moth and The Rebel Witch. This is a completed duology, and oh my god, it's about a witch and witch hunter, and has definitely been one of my favourite enemies to lovers I've read this year, because they are literally enemies. He is hunting her, but there is like a fake dating trope in here as well, where they fake date each other for each other's gain, thinking that the other one doesn't know, and they 100% do, and I ate it up. Also a good one if you like a duology, because this is complete. But Rune is a vigilante witch, and when one of her kind is imprisoned, she will do anything to break them out. As after the revolution, witches have gone from powerful to outcast. glass. Hunted for their magic, and Rune must hide what she is. So Rune is pretending to be a vapid young socialite, hiding her true witchy identity, and she spends her nights as the Crimson Moth, a witch vigilante who's rescuing her kind from being purged. But when a rescue goes wrong, Rune decides to throw them off her scent and start to court the witch hunter Gideon Sharp. Gideon hates witches with a passion, and he is looking for Rune. So falling for him would be deadly. And what happens when they start to figure out that actually they might just be using each other, and that they both know each other's identities? And you can guess what happens at the ending, because oh my god, book 2 was so good. Again, another one doesn't have spice in it. Spice is closed door, but all it's high stakes and tension, and I loved it so much. The Rebel Witch follows straight on from this book as well, which is why it's good that you can read both together now. So if you want a high stakes quick read, I'd recommend Crimson Moth. And then my last YA pick is, of course, it's got to be Throne of Glass. I have recently only just started reading this, and I am in the middle of reading this series. I'm on a pause at the moment for some other books. Currently on Queen of Shadows. Throne of Glass, even though I've only just read this within the last month or so, has hit the list for one of my best fantasies of 2025. I was hooked. I've been putting this series off for so long because of how long it is, and because I didn't think it would live up to the ACOTAR hype. I have to say, I think I prefer this a little bit more than ACOTAR, even though I haven't finished the series yet, so that could change. That opinion might change. But oh, so good. Why did I wait so long to read it? I was gagged. Lena is an assassin. She is a badass living amongst the Fae, and in order to win her freedom, she must kill whoever the king tells her to. If she defeats 23 murderers, thieves, and warriors in a deadly competition, she will be released from prison to serve as this king's champion. But there's something lurking in the castle bigger than anything they've ever seen before. Bigger than their world, a new immortal world, evil that needs to be ousted. Obviously, I don't want to give any spoilers because I am still in the middle of reading this, so please no one give me any spoilers either. And if you haven't read this yet, definitely go into it spoiler free for your first time. That's what I did. I avoided most spoilers, but this is definitely one to add to your TBR. I regret waiting so long to read it. I am going to finish off the series in 2026. Like I said, I'm on Queen of Shadows right now, so it was just so good. Now let's get on to adult fantasy, and I was wondering if they're all spicy or if some of them are not, and they're actually all spicy. But this one not as much, but oh my god, is it female rage in a book. A Fate Forged in Fire was the debut by Hazel McBride, and oh my god, I'm so excited to read this one, and the fact that I got an arc for it was absolutely gagged, so gagged. This was a really big anticipated release for me, and it didn't disappoint. But if you're wanting a book that's got real fantasy in it, female rage, and an empowering female, I would definitely recommend this one, plus dragons too, obviously. Amira is a blacksmith that must use her blessed fire magic to become the queen, as she'll be the first queen in centuries to take over ruling from the corrupt king. But she's also got to fight her desire for her dragon rider adversary. And also it's the first book in a duology of series, a bit like Carissa Broadbent. You know, with the Crowns and the Axia, where it's duologies made up in a series, that is what Fate Forged in Fire is going to be. As Amira must form an alliance with Prince Florian, her enemy, the heir to the crown, and the guy that she's also trying to resist. Can't wait for the next book to come out, very excited. Then we got Bonded by Thorns. I think you'll like this one if you like ACOTAR. This was a super easy to read fantasy. It's a Y choose as well, so basically she has 4 boyfriends, 5 if you count the bad guy too. And I do think this is a series that deserves more hype. I can see why some people might not like it. I can see why some people love it. I think if you're looking for a high after ACOTAR, this is where you'll want to go. But this is the closest thing I found to a similar type of way that I felt when I read ACOTAR. And of course, instead of having 1 love interest, you've got 4. Or 5. Also, it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling as well. Rosalina's father is imprisoned in the land of the Fae, so she makes a deal with the 4 Fae princes to take his place. 4 princes are cursed. They are Fae princes by day, but become werewolves at night. And their curse is on a time limit. Once the last petal on the rose wilts, they will become werewolves forever and lose all of their magic. Because with every year that passes, more of their magic fades away. Their kingdoms are crumbling, and the 4 princes need Rosalina's help to find their mates. Because if they can find their mate, the curse will be lifted, and the enchanted vow will restore itself to its magical glory. So Rosie is determined to help them. But as she gets closer to them, she kind of goes from captive to friend, and the more time that she spends with them, she starts to realise that maybe she might be their one true love after all. You heard me right. All 4. Plus the bad guy prince in this one, I absolutely loved him. This is a work in progress series. There's currently 4 books out, and I think there's going to be 6 or 7 overall, but loved this so much. Definitely one to check out if you love Fae. Why choose spicy books, easy to read. Of course it wouldn't be a best of 2025 fantasy video if I didn't include the book that broke me. Onyx Storm. Out of everything I've read this year, nothing has quite broken me like this book. Nothing at all. Rebecca Yarros, I love you. But what the fuck I definitely feel like I need to reread this book. I read this within like a day. There's a lot happening in it. Backstory, a lot more information we find out. Obviously, I'm not going to give spoilers for anyone that hasn't read it yet. Oh my god. And then the ending. I just have no words for this book other than it completely broke me. And for that reason, it's the best fantasy book I've read this year because the emotional turmoil that I went through, I don't think anything can quite live up to it. Now, obviously, we know the next book is not coming out in 2026. So I know that in 2026, I will be safe from any Rebecca Yarros pain. But that doesn't mean that I won't have any pain from any other book. But I swear to God, we better have Endgame. We better have Endgame. If we do not, I will rage. I'm kidding, but I will. Anyway, just read it if you haven't read Fourth Wing yet. I know it's very much bread and butter. Some people like it, some people don't. I personally love it. If you've seen my shrine, you'll know I do. Love the plot, love the storyline, just love everything about it. But this one in particular is my favourite of the three. Then we come to another book that's been a little bit Marmite, Silver Elite. It's got a lot of hate because the author is unknown, but I ate this up. I love this. This is adult Divergent. This took me right back to Veronica Roth's Divergent series in an updated modern take with an adult viewpoint and a spicy romance. I love this. I ate it up. I am absolutely feral for book 2 coming out, Broken Dove. So the reason why I say this is like a modern day Divergent is because in this world, there are people who are modifieds. They are basically people with extrasensual powers that live amongst everyone else like normal. The government doesn't want them to exist, so they are hunting the modifieds. And all the modifieds are in hiding, including Ren Darlington. But there's also an uprising. She's aiding the uprising until someone close to her is kidnapped. She goes to the capital, tries to free them, but finds herself caught. And in order to stay hidden, she's got to join Silverblock, which is the training academy to become a soldier to find the modified. So she is literally in enemy territory. And Silverblock is deadly. So this is where it reminded me of like Dauntless. And this is why I think I ate up so much because, oh my god, just so good. And the officer in charge of her, Cross Redden, is infuriating. He's handsome. And there is a tension between the two of them that neither of them can resist. Because whilst in Silverblock, Ren is feeding information back to the rebellion, and she actually finds out there might be some more people training in Silverblock who are part of the rebellion too. It's high stakes, super fast pacing, and the plot twist at the end, oh my god, I need Broken Dove right now. If this is one that you would put off in 2025, definitely put it on your 2026 TBR. Again, another one of my fave reads. I would put theirs up as one of my top 3 fave fantasy reads of this year. Now, another one I absolutely love, but I read this in completely the wrong order, Iron and Embers. I didn't realise when I picked this up that this is like a continuation series from a previous series. I went straight into this one. Oh my god. If you like alchemy and characters related to being alchemists, then you might want to check this one out. I would probably suggest that you read the other series first before you start this one, but I haven't read that series yet, so I'm going to go back and read that. And I started this one, and I don't think it's really ruined anything for me. This one is set 5 years after the other series, and it's about Ren, who is the sister of the main character from that series. So there's a little bit of spoiler of knowing who she ends up with, but I think that's kind of a given with any fantasy romancy anyway. But if you like your male main characters to be like Thor, then yes, this is another one you're going to want to check out. Because Ren is an alchemist turned assassin. She's royalty, and she's seeking vengeance for her friends who have died in wars past. But when an unknown form of alchemy is used to kill off a king, it puts all of the royal families in turmoil. And Ren is charged with finding a cure for the poison, so she has been sent to study alchemy at the ancient alchemy academy of Devney. She must earn her place by conquering the gauntlet, a series of trials. Meanwhile, she also needs protection because she is a royal. She could be at threat of being poisoned, and that's when we meet Torch. They already have history. She killed his last charge, aka his boss. So there's a little bit of tension there already, but there's a hell of a lot of sexual tension too. Now, this is a trilogy, and all 3 books are out. They are completed, so you can read the first 4 books from the other series and then read all 3 of these, or go straight into this one. Like I said, I need to go back and read the original series, so I'll be doing that in 2026. This was one of my favourite romantasy series of this year. Super fast paced, easy to read. I love the banter, love the dialogue, everything about this. Again, it's another one of my top faves. So if you haven't read it yet, definitely check it out. And then finally we come to Shield as Sparrows. Wow, was this a slow burn. They didn't have their first kiss for 400 pages. I have missed that yearning. This was one that took me by surprise. I didn't expect to love this as much as I did. Because the gods sent monsters to 5 kingdoms to remind them they must kneel. Because as a princess, her only duty was to wear the crown and never rule. But that all changes when a legendary monster hunter lands in her father's palace, and she is offered up in exchange to make peace between the kingdoms. As she ventures across the deadly kingdom, bound to a future she didn't ask for and a husband she barely knows, including the elusive guardian rebellion and everyone wants something from her, but what if Odessa started to make her own rules? This was another book I absolutely flew through despite its size. Very different to other romances that I've read recently, and like I said, the slow burn was slow. I love because it just built up the tension so much. If you like a feisty princess, if you like broody men, and a magical kingdom with a huge magical ecosystem, then Shield of Sparrows is one that you're going to want to put on your TBR, especially because book 2 also comes out in 2026. So those are all my fave fantasy romancy picks for 2025. Let me know if any of these are on your list too, if you agree, disagree, and if there are any that you think I should check out too. As always, drop a comment, hit subscribe, and I'll see you soon.